Assalamu alaikum. My name is Malik Hassan and I am doing my Megatronics degree from Air University Islamabad campus. Today we will talk about the use of limits in Megatronics uh, degree. So in Megatronics, machine usually move using motors and the limit help control how fast, how slow and where to stop so the machine works safely and accurately. So let's talk about that why limits are important. Limits are basically important because so that machine should not move randomly. They must slow down near the target when it reaches the target. They must stop at the exact position and limit help avoid damage crashes to the machine. So in this slide we will talk about the precision in motion control in the Megatronics degree. So first of all we talk about the target acquisition, which simply means that reaching the correct place safely. So what basically this means? When the robotic arm moves towards an object, it should slow down as it gets closer. If it does not slow down, it may hit or crash into the object. So the speed becomes zero when it reaches the target. So if we talk about an example, the robotic arm picking up components in the factory. In the second, we talk about the smooth deceleration, which simply means stopping gently, not suddenly. Limit allow us to program soft stops. This means that machine should slow down step by step instead of stopping suddenly. So why this matters? So that machine prevents jerking, it protects machine parts and increases the machine life. So limits make the stop smooth and safe. In the third, we talk about the micro positioning. So what does this mean? So it simply means that a very small and accurate movement. So in 3D printing, the nozzle must move in tiny steps. Limit ensure the printer reaches the perfect height without damaging the previous layer. So in easy words, we can say that limit give perfect small positioning. Let's talk about an example of this. Uh, we can take an example of 3D printer which is adjusting layer height. So if we do the whole summary of this slide, we can say that limit controls motion and limit prevent crashes and limit also gives smooth stopping and at the end limit ensure accuracy. So if we conclude in a line, we can say that limit help machines move accurately, stop safely, and work smoothly. So, so in this slide, we will talk about the sensors and thresholds. So, sensor act like eyes and threshold limits help them to decide when to act. So, what basically are the sensors? In the simple meaning, we can say that sensor detect changes in the environment. For example, temperature sensor which senses heat, ultrasonic sensor which senses distance, light sensor which senses brightness. So if we say it easily, sensor sense the surrounding. So let's talk about the threshold. What are thresholds? In the simple meaning, we can say that threshold is a fixed limit value. So when the sensor value crosses the limit, the system takes action. In the easy words, we can say that threshold is a decision point. So let me explain you this flow of this slide step by step. So in the first we talk about the sense. So the sensor measures something like distance, temperature, speed. So first, when the system senses, then at the second step it comes compare. The measured value is compared with a limit, like we can say that the distance is less than 10 centimeter or temperature is higher than 70 degrees Celsius. In the easy words, we can say that sensor value is compared with the limit. In the third, the approaching limit. So when the value is near or crossing the limit, so the system becomes alert. And if the obstacle is very close, temperature is almost too high, and the limit reached warning stage. And at the fourth and the last, actuate. The system take action automatically, motor stops, and at the other end, if the alarm turns on when the system takes action. So if we say in easy words, at the end action is taken by the sensor. So here is a short video of my project which I have displayed. So when the car reaches in front of a sensor, it approaches to a certain limit. The sensor detects its distance through a limit set up in the code, and the barrier opens. This is a practical example shown in front of you, the use of limit in mechatronics degree. So Mohammed Shazeb Rafaqat will proceed the next slides.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Shazeb Rafakat and I am a first semester student of Mechatronics Engineering. Now I will explain the next slides. This slide is about the stability. In engineering, we must know when a system becomes unsafe. Limits help us to find the safe point before the system fails. We can test the system without breaking it. On the left side, you can see there is a walking robot. The robot will check its tilt angle limit. If it leans too much, it corrects itself to stay balanced. On the right side, there is a conveyor belt. It has a maximum speed limit. If speed is too high, items or objects can fall. So limits help us to keep the system safe and efficient. Slide is about the power management. We know every electronic component has limits like current and voltage. Engineers use limits to keep the system in a safe operating area. This is also called SOA. If we cross these limits, components can heat up or get damaged. The graph shows different power levels. It means staying inside the limits we are safe and we can perform long-lasting operation. So limits are essential to protect components and increase system reliability. This was my part of the presentation. Now Josefa Sabir will continue.
My name is Huzafa Sabir and I am currently doing Mechatronics Engineering from Air University, Islamabad. My roll number is 2501489. So let's continue. Drones are a perfect example of how limits work in real time. A drone does not simply fly randomly, it continuously calculates different limits to stay stable and safe. पहला है wind resistance. A drone calculates the maximum wind speed it can fight against. अगर तो फोर्स ज़्यादा है तो जब ये अपनी लिमिट पे अप्रोच करेगा, जो ड्रोन है वो फिर अपनी स्टेबिलिटी लूज़ कर देगा और ड्रिफ्ट अवे होने की कोशिश करेगा. इसी वजह से जो ड्रोन्स हैं वो अवॉइड करते हैं स्ट्रॉन्ग विंड्स में उड़ना. द सेकेंड वन इज़ बैटरी फ्लोर. एज द बैटरी वोल्टेज अप्रोचेज इट्स लोअर लिमिट, द ड्रोन ऑटोमेटिकली इनिशिएट्स एन ऑटो लैंडिंग सीक्वेंस. ये प्रिवेंट करता है ड्रोन को क्रैश आउट होने से या अपनी पावर लूज़ होने की वजह से, और प्रोटेक्ट करता है अपने हार्डवेयर को और सराउंडिंग्स को। जो तीसरा फीचर है वो है एल्टीट्यूड सीलिंग। ड्रोन्स आर प्रोग्राम्ड विद एल्टीट्यूड लिमिट्स बिकॉज एट हायर एल्टीट्यूड्स एयर बिकम्स थिनर एंड प्रोपेलर्स लूज लिफ्ट एफिशिएंसी. Limit stops the drone from flying too high where control becomes unstable. Now coming to the key takeaways of this presentation. The most important lessons from limit in mechatronics is that good design always starts from with understanding boundaries. एक अच्छा डिज़ाइन वही होता है जो इंजीनियर अपनी बाउंड्रीज़ को समझे और उसके हिसाब से उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करे. As engineers, we are not only building machines, we are defining how far those machines can safely go. So, these key takeaways include safety. Limits help us define safe zones for both machines and humans. Example के तौर पर setting current, temperature और speed limits prevents accidents, overheating and mechanical failure. Without limits, even a small error can cause serious damage. Second one is efficiency. When we understand the limits of a system, we can push it close to its maximum performance without crossing into danger. इसका मतलब ये है कि better speed, better accuracy और better use of power, जो कि extremely important है एक real life world engineering की applications में. जो तीसरा हमारा logic है वो है smart logic and fail safes. By coding limits into software, systems can automatically respond to dangerous situations. Example के तौर पर a robot stopping when it reaches a position limit. एक ड्रोन जो कि ऑटोमेटिकली लैंड हो जाता है जब उसकी पावर लो होती है या वो अपनी लिमिट की तरफ पहुंच जाता है. दिस मेक सिस्टम इंटेलिजेंट, रिलायबल एंड सेल्फ प्रोटेक्टिंग. तो ओवरऑल अगर देखा जाए, लिमिट्स हमें अलाउ करती हैं कि हम एक सेफ डिज़ाइन बनाएं, एक एफिशिएंट डिज़ाइन बनाएं और एक अच्छा बेहतर मैकाट्रॉनिक सिस्टम बनाएं. तो इसी को कंक्लूड करते हुए हम ये कहते हैं कि लिमिट्स प्ले अ फंडामेंटल रोल इन मैकाट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियरिंग. दे हेल्प अस अंडरस्टैंड सिस्टम बिहेवियर, इंश्योर सेफ्टी, मेंटेन स्टेबिलिटी एंड ऑप्टिमाइज परफॉर्मेंस. वेदर इट इज़ मोशन कंट्रोल, सेंसर्स या उसकी पावर मैनेजमेंट हो जाए या रियल वर्ल्ड के सिस्टम्स हो जाएं जैसे कि ड्रोन्स, रोबोट्स, लिमिट्स अलाउ इंजीनियर्स टू प्रेडिक्ट आउटकम्स इंस्टेड ऑफ रिएक्टिंग टू द फेलियर्स. इसी तरह लिमिट अप्लाई करने से हमें पता चलता है कि मशीन्स कितनी स्मूथ हैं, कितनी स्मार्टर हैं और कितनी हमारे लिए सेफ हैं. दिस इज़ वाई लिमिट्स आर नॉट जस्ट अ मैकेनिकल कॉन्सेप्ट, दे आर अ प्रैक्टिकल इंजीनियरिंग टूल दैट डिफाइंस इनोवेशंस विद इन सेफ बाउंड्रीज. दैट्स ऑल. थैंक यू.